Gabriele, please have a seat. Thank you, with your colleagues. Thank you. Arnaud would be very kind, and Yeva, please sit down so we can have a short closing, but we do have to get it started. Mesdames et messieurs. Voilà. C'est bien de sentir ce niveau d'énergie à la fin de 3 jours de débat-conférence, mais quand même, on va faire une clôture succincte, mais forte, avec la personne que je vais vous représenter comme au premier jour à l'ouverture. C'est monsieur le docteur Daniel Schrott, qui est le grand directeur pour tout ce qui est énergie renouvelable au niveau de la BAD, que j'invite pour faire ses premières remarques. Merci beaucoup, Daniel.
Merci beaucoup, David. Et c'est un grand plaisir pouvoir intervenir une dernière fois à cette fin de la conférence. I will do it in English. First of all, I think I would really like to thank David and the whole ARE team for having put together a fantastic event. I think the last 3 days were truly energized. Always things have at some point to come to an end. I think you had all opportunities to engage with different counterparts. I'm sure there are a lot of personal takeaways from being able to meet in person, particularly after the COVID period. My Vice President said at the beginning, the opening remarks on Tuesday morning, that the Energy Access Investment Forum is the gold standard for the decentralized energy access world. And I think these 3 days have really confirmed that. So I think a big round of applause to David and the ARE team for that. It has also been really a pleasure for the African Development Bank, particularly through our Sustainable Energy Fund for Africa, to support this event here in our hometown in Abidjan. As I mentioned on Tuesday as well, it's the second time that this Energy Access Investment Forum takes place in Côte d'Ivoire. I think it's also good that some of these events take place in Francophone Africa, not only in the usual places such as Nairobi or increasingly Kigali, and we love these places, but really also to have a focus on what's happening in Francophone Africa, I think is very important. I'm not going to give a lot of details, but I would just like to maybe mention a couple of takeaways from these 3 days, and those are obviously sort of personal takeaways, so you might have slightly different views, but I think some of these themes will resonate with all of you, I believe. I think it's been very clear from, in fact, the opening session that we are not on track to meet SDG 7. But I think at the same time, this conference gives me hope that we have the tools, we have the will, we have the motivation to get it done. So I think while sort of the actual status at the moment is not encouraging, I think events like this and your engagement, your motivation gives me hope that it is in fact still doable. So I think let's really work towards this goal. I think the second is it's so important and so much is possible now because of digitalization and data that is available, whether that's platforms such as Prospect, Vida, Odyssey, really kind of tools that can allow governments, private sector partners to do the proper planning, to also have the verification in place, really tools that can allow us to deliver on providing access to everyone who does not have access at the moment. So I think that's clearly one of the takeaways from my side. Another point is, I think there's been a lot of discussion, exciting discussion around the importance of productive use. So we're not providing energy for the sake of energy, but energy as a service, energy kind of to encourage and promote local economic development. And that's also so critical for the sustainability of many of the solutions that we are discussing, particularly mini-grids are to be mentioned here. So kind of how can we roll out, how can we promote productive use? I think there were a lot of good suggestions and ideas emerging from this event, and I hope that also ARIC can sort of help capture some of the conclusions, some of the recommendations from this event. Another point I think very important is sort of skills development and also sort of the element of local content and ownership. It's not about bringing solutions from outside. It's about identifying the best solutions and making sure that those solutions are developed, are owned by the people that benefit from them. And I think this requires a lot of support still from various sides to really make sure that this is the case. Obviously, coming from a financial institution, I think there was also a lot of discussion around where is the money going to come from. I think, as the saying goes, it's not a question of the money, it's a question of the project. Is it a question of the project or the money? Sort of is a little bit turning around in circles. But I think we've also been discussing a number of the solutions that are available, some of the tools, funds, instruments that are there that sort of need to be made available, where we need to kind of support countries in being able to access those funds and facilities. Looking at more innovative structures, how can we deploy guarantees, demand-side guarantees, for example. So I think a lot of discussions also happened on the whole question of financing, which is obviously critically important. And last but not least, I think in this space, as in many others, where there's really a public-private partnership necessary, sort of the engagement of the governments, of the rural electrification agencies, of the ministries, of the other kind of sector stakeholders is really critical. And this is, I think, was really great to see so many government representatives here. I think and hope that you will take a lot of kind of lessons learned, best practice back to your countries so that this can sort of help with the acceleration of providing access to energy. And the very final point is clearly partnerships. I think in so many of the conversations that I've been having, that you've been having, it's really about partnerships. We can't, no institution, no partner, no developer can sort of address this challenge on its own. It's only feasible if we work in partnership. So just to conclude, I think we'll just say 3 quick points. One is, I think we definitely need to scale up because we're not yet where we need to be. We need to speed up because every day that we lose is a day lost. And I think very importantly, links to the point about partnerships, we need to synergize. So I think in this spirit, thank you again very much for being with us these 3 days. I wish you all a safe trip home and hope to be able to say again in the very near future, Aqaba in Abidjan. Thank you very much. Bye.
Merci beaucoup, Monsieur le Directeur, pour vos allocutions charmantes. Je ne sais pas ce que je peux rajouter. Après les débats des 3 derniers jours, je bois un peu d'eau. On a eu 3 jours, je pense en effet, qui ont été mis en garde dès le départ, parce qu'en effet, il manque d'investissement pour arriver à l'ODD 7, donc l'énergie durable pour tous d'ici 2030, ça c'est clair. D'un autre côté, j'aimerais quand même saluer certainement ceux dans la salle, ceux qui sont avec nous virtuellement, les efforts qui sont faits par chacun d'entre vous pour apporter votre pierre à l'édifice, pour amener cette mission noble que nous avons tous fixée en avant, au plus vite possible, au plus loin possible. Et c'est pour cela que j'aimerais bien voir ça comme un encouragement et aussi fort des discussions des 3 derniers jours pour des projets, des programmes internationaux, nationaux, dans plein de pays et sous-régions, pour vraiment, pas juste avoir l'espoir, mais avoir la confiance qu'on est capable de le faire, parce que c'est sûr, comme on l'a déjà vu dans d'autres régions et pour d'autres secteurs, un bon partenariat entre le secteur public, le secteur privé et les autres parties prenantes, y compris des associations qui essayent de moins de faire le lien entre les deux, qu'on peut y arriver. Et on s'est fixé 2030, espérons que ça ne soit pas après, espérons que ça soit avant, parce que les populations ne souhaitent pas attendre un jour de plus que nécessaire, comme disait le directeur. Dans mes brèves remarques de clôture, excusez-moi la voix, la soirée était chouette hier, Nous souhaitons évidemment remercier notre co-host, notre coprésident de cet événement, qui est là-bas, notamment représenté ici par son directeur, surtout le programme là dans CEFA et AMAP, qui ont rendu possible cet atelier, ensemble avec un soutien puissant, comme toujours, de notre partenaire GetInvest et Prospect. Je souhaite aussi quand même saluer certains des autres, je ne vais pas nommer les 40 logos que nous avons sur le photobouffe d'or, mais quand vous voyez les logos publics, on a la République française, on a l'IFC, on a Energy Catalyst du UK, la GIZ comme j'ai nommé, donc on a beaucoup d'appui du secteur public, mais aussi du secteur privé. Donc il y a Schneider en Diamond, Engie, l'Association internationale du cuivre, ICA, qui est toujours dans la salle, qui nous aide aussi à faire beaucoup de programmes. Il y a l'ADA, EDP, le Zayed Prize, et pour terminer, Grino, REPP, NRECA, le IREC Standard et notre société bien belge, Turbulent. Je souhaiterais aussi quand même un fort remerciement et applaudissement pour mon équipe qui a travaillé sans relâche et l'équipe technique. Comme pour l'équipe technique, bien entendu, qui nous ont tous supportés, soutenus pendant ces semaines qui ont été assez chargées, on peut l'avouer, pour mettre tout cela sur pied. Maintenant, je vous souhaite, pas inviter à un cocktail, mais nous serons toujours dans les parages pour les discussions, pour clôturer les séances, et je tiens surtout à vous, le public, les intervenants, les sponsors et participants, vous remercier du fond de mon cœur, au nom de l'association, pour contribuer à cette mission, et je vous fixe rendez-vous au début de l'année prochaine, qu'on communiquera très prochainement pour qu'on se retrouve à nouveau tous ensemble. Merci beaucoup. Thank you very much. Restez assis un instant, parce qu'on va faire une photo, je pense, du podium vers le public, c'est comme ça? Non, c'est pas comme ça? Si tu venais, Ling, pour nous expliquer. Ah oui, j'ai oublié presque le plus important. Très brièvement, vous savez qu'on a aussi un matchmaking, un nouveau système matchmaking qui ne fait pas que le B2B, mais aussi du partage de connaissances entre les différents participants. Et on avait dit, c'est vrai, à la séance d'ouverture, merci de me le rappeler, qu'on avait un petit prix, chouïa de petits prix, mais surtout une reconnaissance morale des deux meilleurs, disons, networkers, pour mal traduire. Et donc, j'aimerais appeler sur le podium Monsieur Paulo Silva Vieira, excusez-moi la prononciation, ainsi que Monsieur Obinna Agu, à me rejoindre sur le podium. If you have heard your name, please join on the podium and congratulations, you are the matchmaking winners.
Got a brand new spirit speaking in this dawn.
Get a good feeling, yeah. I get a feeling that I never had before. No, I get a good feeling, yeah. Oh, sometimes.
You are now invited to go home. Devant ou derrière? Okay. We're going to try a group photo. So come to the front. It's a bit chaotic, but it's normal. Come to the podium for the photo. If you are not too shy, if you want to be eternally acknowledged, venez au podium. Les plus petits devant. Les grands derrière. Lie down. Traducteur. Non, non, il faut que je...
This is Africa. Tamina, mina, Time for Africa. Don't wait in line y vamos por todo. People Kalewa, this time for Africa. Samina, mina, eh, eh, waka, waka, eh, eh, samina, mina. For Africa. I will have a journey, biggie, biggie, mama. For Africa, jungle.